Hi guys, and welcome to another Elementor video. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Well, we've got a simple little effect for you today. I've got an image here. When you hover over it, it's going to swap into a different image, and we're going to have a call to action button at the bottom. There we go, it's kind of swapped into this image. I got it transitioning pretty slowly, so it almost looks like a morph effect there. And when it comes in, we've got a call to action button down there. That's a handy little feature to have on your site. Really easy to do. We've got to do a little bit of coding today. Don't let that put you off. Any CSS I write, I'll put down below the video, and you're welcome to use it how you wish. So let's get started. I've got this page open already with Elementor. And what I've got a section here. Inside the section I've got 3 columns. And I'm just going to add a button to the column. And you can do this with the free or the paid version of Elementor, because the buttons are available in both. So I'm going to left click, drag the button over. And there it is right there. Now what we want to do is make it the size that we want our image to show, because the image that we're looking at there actually resides in the column, and the one that fades in is the one that we've got on the back of our button here. So we're in our button right now. Let's put it in the middle. I'm going to go over to advanced and add some padding to make it the sort of size that I want it. I want my button to appear on the bottom, so I'm going to give it more padding on the top than the bottom. If you want it in the middle, give it the same amount both sides, or if you want it to be at the top, put a little bit on the top and a large amount on the bottom. And it's important you have the padding on the bottom and on the top, so it's got full size, and anywhere that they hover over, the other image is going to come in. So I'm going to add, I'm going to uncheck the chain because I don't want it doing all sides at once. I'm going to add, say, 250 to the top. That pushes it down there. I'm going to put a little bit just below it as well, because I don't want it sitting right on the bottom of the image. If you do, just leave it like that. I'm going to put 20 on the bottom there. Great. Now let's give it our background. We'll choose the image that we want. And this is going to be the image that fades in, remember. So I'm going to go down to background. We're still on the advanced tab here. I'm going to hit the little paintbrush, and I'm going to choose an image. Now we'll grab the same one as I used before. Now I want it to be positioned in the center, because that's usually where most of the action is. Obviously position yours wherever works for you. I don't want it to repeat, and I do want it to cover the whole thing, so I'm going to say cover, so we can see a lot more of the picture there. Now, not too happy with the button color there, so I'm going to style the button a little bit. So I'm going to go into style right here, and at the moment it's green. I'm going to make mine black. I'm going to take the opacity down a little bit, because I like to be able to see things through my button. So I'm going to take it about 50% or somewhere around there. Not that there's a lot to see behind that, but I just like that effect. Sort of blends a bit more into the background there. But that's entirely up to you. Okay. Now we want to go into the column and put in the image that we want to see first. And what I'm going to do is click on the little dark tab to get in the column. As you can see, we're in the column now. I'm going to switch the padding around a little bit on this column. I'm going to take away any padding that's around it. And I'm actually going to add a bit of margin. There we go. And that will just add a bit of separation between our little modules there. That's the only reason I'm doing that. Now let's put in our image that we want to see initially. So I'm going to go in here. I've just gone over to the style tab, straight into background. I'm going to hit the little paintbrush, and we can put a little image in. So I'll use the same ones I used before then. Now we can't see it because this is on top. This is where the coding comes in. So what we need to do is go back into our button module here, the little blue tab, to the advanced. I'm going to give it a CSS class. I'm going to say imgbt image button. That's my sort of shorthand for image button. Call it what you want. It's got to be unique, and it's a good idea that it actually means something to you so you can remember what the classes are. Now if you're using Pro, I've got Pro installed here. You can put your custom CSS below here. If you're using the free version, you'll have to put it in your customizer. Now to get to your customizer, go to your dashboard, down to appearance, and then customize. And then down to additional CSS. This is where we can put CSS if you're not using the Pro version. So we've got everything in place now. We've got our button module with the image in it, and we've got an image behind in the actual column. Now we gave this the class of imgbt for image button. It's my sort of shorthand there. So what we need to do, go into our customizer. We can give it a name if you want to. It's a good idea, especially if you write a lot of code. And to do that, // anything that we write in between the two stars there will not be read as code. So I can say image swap with button. And we need a drop down. We need to give it the class name. All class names have to have a period in front of them. So it's period. There's the class name. Open and close some curly brackets. And we're going to say opacity 0. Now opacity is see-throughness or transparency. There it is. You can instantly see the image behind it now. But we need to set a hover state so that when people put their mouse on it, the other ones are going to fade in here. So I'm going to copy this whole thing, Control C, and I'm going to paste it just down below. Control V. And I'm going to change the opacity to 1. Now I need to, just after the T of imgbt there, no gap, I'm going to put a colon and the word hover. So we've got the class name, no space, colon, then no space and the word hover. That means when we hover over it now, that's setting a hover state, the opacity is going to be 1, which is fully visible. As you can see, that pops in. Now for drama, I'm going to slow it right down so it almost looks like that morph. You don't have to do this, but it's just another little effect you can use. So I'm going to say in the regular state, not the hover state, I'm going to say transition duration. And it's prompted us down here to put transition duration in. And put a colon. I'm going to say something crazy like 4 seconds, 4S for 4 seconds. That way it's going to do it really slowly. As you can see, it's kind of morphing in there. It's not really morphing, but because it's doing it slowly, it's just a slow fade from one to the other. And our button's becoming visible. Now you can still actually click on that button when it's not even faded in, because it's still there, it's just invisible. But that's all there is to it. And I'll put this CSS down below. So we'll publish our CSS here. And we'll go back here. And we'll take a look at the page. We'll make sure everything's updated first. Hit the little eyeball. Here's our page. And there it is. We're fading from one to the other, or with that sort of morph effect. And there's our call to action button. Now, of course, for anybody, I kind of skipped over this in the actual button module. See, we're in the button now. We go to the content. That's where you put your link in right there. I haven't got a link, so I've just got a hashtag in there which functions as a link. Put your link in there. You can hit the cog there and you can choose best options. If you're linking to your own site, leave it as it is. If you're linking to somebody else's site, best practice is to open it in a new window so your site stays open. So there you go, guys. There's a nice little image swap effect, nice and slow, with a call to action button. I hope you've enjoyed this today and found it useful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, ring the bell, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Once again, this has been Jamie with System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.